Good morning and welcome to our December 18th daily spiritual practice based on the book 365 Science of Mind, A Year of Daily Wisdom from Ernest Holmes, the founder of Centers for Spiritual Living. I'm Edward Fillion and I'm delighted to travel with you in this journey all year. And here we are on the last half of the last month. Actually, it's the 19th today, not the 18th. Um, the 19th is all about seeing the divine in everything and in everyone and in all events. And this reading today shows Dr. Holmes' um, interest in other spiritual disciplines, other readings, other philosophers. He calls upon them and doesn't give his sources necessarily, so that's something that we have to go and find for ourselves if we're interested to know what he's talking about exactly. So I'm going to read what he says today, just as it is. Jesus said, "Give, and to you shall be given." All the great scriptures have announced this central truth, realizing that every act carries with it a sequence, bringing the result of this action back to the self. This is what is meant by karma. Karma means the fruit of action. Emerson called it the law of compensation. And Jesus proclaimed the same law in his teachings, that as we sow, so shall we reap. This is why Kuang Si tells us that the more we give to others, the more we have. Walt Whitman also refers to this when he says, "The gift is most to the giver and comes back most to them." This all means the return of the self to itself. The great apostle did not tell us to forget the self. He merely told us also remember everyone else. We are to view ourselves in the other and behold the divine in all. Hermes tells us that when we realize love as the great harmony, we shall all sing the praise of God. Now, before we can do this, we must perceive this harmony in one another and in everything. Thus, everything that seems separated is united at the root, overall, in all, and through all, the sustaining beauty of the inevitable seed of perfection to which Robert Browning referred as nestling at the center of our own being. Today, as I move about the world, I see the living spirit in everything. I see the living spirit in all people. I see the living spirit in every event of my day. This living spirit is not separate. It's not separate from the person, not separate from the event. It is part of everything. It is what gives energy and life to everything, and it gives life with its own being. It creates everything through its own divine imagination. I too am an instrument of its holiness, and today I recognize my oneness with the living spirit. I too am an instrument of its wholeness, and today I recognize my union with its holiness. I too am one with the living Spirit in all that I think, in all that I say, and all that I do. So as I move about the world today, I see the living Spirit in everything, in all people, and in all events. It links everything, not only to everything else, but to itself. It, the living Spirit, creates everything through its own divine imagination. And so I remind myself today, I too am an expression of its wholeness. I recognize its holiness in me. And letting the next breath I take be deeper than the one before, I begin to ready myself to take on the day. I think today before I leave this spot, I'm going to go back and read today's reading maybe a couple more times and maybe get a pen and paper and write it out in my own words. Maybe get on the internet and search for some of these quotes so I can learn more about who Dr. Holmes was reading when he created this. Thank you so much for joining and for letting us know where you're joining from. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Have a blessed day.